Hey everyone, welcome to Module 6. We are going to look at the short answer paper that you are going to be doing for this module. And it's a little different. So when you go to the guidelines and rubric, it is talking to you about selecting a scientific issue and a credible source about that issue. Now, it should be different from the issue that you have been doing for your project. So you want to kind of go outside of the issue that you've been doing this term and select a new issue. And you can find these sources from using the Shapiro Library or the resources section. So normally the resources section is linked, but if you need to have some help finding that again, it is in the assignment information, and you can go to the project resources right here. So here's the resources that you can select from. Now you can go outside of this. You can go to the Shapiro Library. You can go to a website called Science Daily, which is what I did. And things that are posted on Science Daily are normally linked to journal references. And so that makes them credible. It's up to you. So sorry, I lost my page here. Where did it go? So if we go back to the guidelines, there we go. You are going to be addressing these questions here as a short paper, 1 to 2 pages in Microsoft Word. These are the guidelines for here, and then here is your rubric. So I'm going to go over some of this information to help you. So obviously I already went over this part. You're choosing a different topic. The one I chose to give as an example is climate change is causing increasing wildfires. And so the first thing that I'm going to do is explain how this issue impacts your community or other communities. It might be better for you to select an issue that is impacting your community because that makes it more relevant to you. You kind of have like more skin in the game, basically. It can be hard to look at things that are affecting other communities because it may not necessarily be impacting you. So the one that I chose is here in Colorado. Over the past couple of years, we've had really, really bad wildfires that have destroyed a lot of cropland. It's caused loss of life, unfortunately. There's been economic costs in the fact that not only do we have to, clean it up and there's tourism losses, but also now insurance companies are not insuring people. They're dropping people, or they are increasing the premiums so much that people can't afford insurance anymore. So the impacts that you're looking at, you want to look at, not just impacts to financial, losses, but how is it impacting tourism? How is it impacting health in the community? How is it impacting the ecosystem, like the wildlife? So there should be a couple of different impacts that you cover. The next part is the importance of data. So you're going to explain the importance of ensuring that the information and data about the science issue reaches people outside of the scientific community. So why is it important that it's not just scientists talking to other scientists, right? That it's going out into the community. So the importance of data most of the time is to help kind of shape policies and prevent similar issues, making sure that the public is informed so that they understand that it's a safety issue or that it's an issue that could potentially affect them and something that they need to be scientifically literate about. So for instance, people that lived kind of in like the urban setting of Denver, Colorado, they didn't really pay too much attention to the wildfires. They always just kind of thought, well, it's an issue out in the mountains. It's not anything that can affect us. Until 2021, when there was a huge wildfire in an urban setting, and it destroyed a lot of homes, and it kind of hit, we had a very unseasonably warm day. This was in December, and the reason why it was so warm was due to climate change, and it created conditions that helped these wildfires spread. So that is just an example of making sure that data goes out about that particular issue. So you'll have to determine, why is it important for the data from your scientific issue to go out to the public. The next one is about adapting that information to communicate to diverse audiences. You really want to use your lessons from the module readings. So if we kind of go and look at that, right here is where it talks about, this is in module 6 with your reading, about how you can adapt your writing to present the information. Essentially, it's just asking you, how can you adapt the information from the article to reach a variety of people? So not just make it for a specific audience, but for different industries, different education levels, different genders, different ethnicities. Like, you want to give a specific way. And then whatever way that you choose, you want to summarize a key point using that specific way you described. So in my article about climate change and wildfires, there's a point that's being made about how it's increasing the fire weather. It's kind of being summarized in here. But one of the key points is that climate change is increasing wildfires and driving up costs. And so the specific way is that I decreased the verbiage in it to make it more concise, right? This is a lot more understandable than having this being said in 5 sentences. So you'll have to decide, what specific way you're going to adapt your information and then summarize that key point to make your information more understandable. And then the last piece is about engagement. So how can civic engagement and citizen science efforts help people take actionable steps to address the issue? So in my particular issue with climate change creating more wildfires, the civic engagement would be to partner with organizations to help reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Now, that could be a number of organizations. It could be volunteer organizations. It could be government organizations. It just depends. And then there could be citizen science projects that have been put into place to help monitor the trees. In Colorado, we have trees that die from pests, from this certain pest called an emerald ash borer, and it causes the trees to die. And then they're just sitting there and they're basically just like kindling. They'll just light up really quickly. And so it's helpful to have citizen science who can monitor the trees and see if they are being infected by that and reporting that so that they can be removed by the National Park Service or from city and state environmental divisions. There are citizen science projects that can help go and clear out the brush areas, so that way there's not, basically fuel laying around for a wildfire to get started. And so again, it's a short paper. It's not meant to be, 3 or 4 pages long. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you're fully answering these questions. So there should be multiple sentences for each section of the paper. You don't want to just write 1 sentence per question, because that's probably not enough information. You're probably not fully answering the question. But let me know if you have any questions about this, or you need help with anything, or finding resources. Like I said, the Shapiro Library is really good. That Science Daily website is good. the resources tab from the module is good as well.